Hey everybody, I wanted to get on here and show a quick tutorial about how I redid my power antenna for a Conquest or Mitsubishi Starion. Here's the module, the unit here. I have the gear drive side opened up. This here is the timing wheel. You can see there's 3 electrical contacts on there. And then you have the main drive gear. And then the tape and mast feeds down through this tube and through to the back side. And then you have the motor here, and then there's the planetary gear here that and you have your reduction. What I tripped up on this fix, and what I'm getting on here to show everybody, is the timing of this module. There's a good tutorial on the forums about how to take this off and clean it and take it apart, but I didn't see where I could put it back together, and I was having trouble with it clicking when it went up and down. So this timing unit here has these 3 brushes. You need to make sure you clean this wheel and put some dielectric grease on there. This bottommost brush here is the fully up position, and this one is the fully down position, which you can see the antenna is fully down right now. And then this is your ground, I believe. Now on this timing wheel, you can see it just kind of freely rotates in there. There's this gap in the wheel, and that's how it senses it runs off a motor rotation, so that's how it senses how many rotations have passed. And so when the antenna is fully up, that little gap should be on this lower one, and when the antenna is fully down, it should be on this upper contact. Now another important thing is that the little groove in the main drive wheel is pointing roughly at this other gear here. I'm not quite sure on that, but just it has to mesh up with this somehow. I'll go over here in a second how I was able to figure this out. So I've got the old mast and tape here. What happens on these is they just get old and brittle and they break. So that's what happens with mine, and yeah, you have to clean it if yours is still good and re-lubricate it with silicone grease. I just used this synthetic grease. It all works the same. And so yeah, I re-lubricated the new one, and you have to coil it back in the cup on the back side of the unit, and then kind of fit that in there. It's a little finicky, but you can figure it out. So when you're coiling this tape back into the canister, the little cup that it fits in the housing, it can be pretty tricky to get it to wind without springing out, especially with it greased. So I'll show you a little trick here just on the old tape that I used. All you need is a few zip ties. And sorry I didn't do this while I was working on it. It's just you need 3 hands to do it. So but yeah, I'll show you on this old one. So I know it might be a little bit difficult to imagine, but basically what I was able to do was put a zip tie around the cup, and then I would feed the one end of the tape into it, and then start to gradually feed more. And as I would feed more, I'd slide that zip tie down and around, and that would hold the tape in there while I was coiling it. And what I tried first was to push the tape through the cup, and that worked for like the first 2 times around. But after that, you kind of have to like pack it in there, and so I was turning the cup and sliding the zip tie. And so that's all you need to do, is just put a few zip ties around it. Otherwise it'll just spring out like that on you. What I was having trouble with, like I just said, was how it feeds up. It'll start clicking, and that's how I originally knew this was bad. Is it would go up about 8 inches, and then it would just click, 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 click. And then if I wanted to put it down, I'd have to press on the top, and it would feed down about the length of this bigger piece, and then it would stop and click, 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 click. And so when you put the new tape and mast in, what you want to do is, if you take any of this apart to clean it, and you know, you don't want to leave the gears kind of where they're at, because if it's been skipping gears, it's not going to know where the home position is, and it's not going to know that it's all the way down or all the way up. It's going to be some arbitrary amount between those two. And so for me, what I did was, before I put the mast and the tape back in, I reassembled everything and made sure that I had the drive gear, the reduction gear, and the planetary, and this timing wheel back in, closed it all back up, and kind of bench tested it in the car. And so I plugged it back into the connector here, and then turned the radio on and off a few times and kind of let the system run. And whenever I took it back out, how I found out that this position here was the down position and this position was the up, is that that position was where this timing wheel was at after I had cycled it a few times. And so I've tested this a few times with the tape and mast back in, and it works correctly. And so yeah, I just wanted to show everybody, if there's not a lot of information in the service manuals or on the forums specifically about this, but yeah, I hope this helps. Also, a quick tip on this mast, the replacement mast I ordered, you can either get one for a Saab 900. I also just found one for a Mitsubishi Montero, and the only thing that's really different about it is the tip of it. I'll put a screenshot. I just bought it on Amazon. It was about 20 bucks. Got the little helper here. But yeah, that's just a tip. They don't sell the exact Mitsubishi part number for this car anymore, but a lot of them, I was just able to test the diameter on the mast and the little pressed insert. Also, a tip for getting the mast and tape out, if this is still intact, or if it's just still in the kind of shaft there, you just have to yank on this pretty hard to get that press piece out. There's kind of like a stopper down here, and so this mast also has to be fully collapsed before it can come out of the car, because you really can't clear any of that back there. You can't snake it out of there if it's not fully collapsed. But once you could either do that while it's on the car, you could just yank this out and the tape should come out with it. It's going to be a little bit harder, or if you can get it fully collapsed, you can just take it off while it's outside like this. But yeah, there's just kind of under this nut here, there's a kind of pressed in piece. All right, so just as proof that my theory on how the contacts work on this antenna is true, I've reassembled everything back in the car. I'll go ahead and show you that working now.